All right. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're joining us from all over the world. Thank you for taking time to attend our Ask Me Anything session. So today we're going to be focusing on project, agile, change management, business analysis, Lean Six Sigma. Quite a number of questions have come in. So we're going to be going through those questions, and again, you can ask questions as well. So let me quickly tell you a little bit more about myself. So my name is Deji Ariyo. You can call me DJ or Deji or Ariyo, whichever one is easier for you is absolutely fine. And that's just a little bit about myself. I'm a trainer. I'm the lead trainer for Arabica Training, and I do some other consultancy work as well. And I've got some certifications around IT, service management, project management, program, agile, business analysis, and quite a number of them. Okay, so without boring you too much about myself, so what I'm going to do right now is for you to help us complete a particular poll. So we want to meet you. Yes, so we want to meet you to really understand a little bit about yourself. So please, I will appreciate if you can take time to complete the questions that appear on your screen. Just to make sure that everybody can hear me, please, can you type yes if you can hear me? Yes, if you can hear me. Yes. Okay. Right. Fantastic. Thank you very much for responding to that. Okay. Great. So please help us complete those questions on the screen. So the way we're going to go about our session today is generally it's going to take 1 hour. Yes, like I said, you can send in your questions as we talk, but quite a number of people have sent in questions. So I will take those questions first. So whatever question you send through the chat, we're going to take those at the end of the session. So we're not going to check, or I'm not going to be checking those questions for now. And I'm very sure many of those questions may have even been answered along the line, but that shouldn't stop you from sending in your questions. And at the end of this session, or at the end of today, or latest by tomorrow morning, the video will be made available on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and we're going to send you notification to let you know when this has been done. All right, so thank you again for being part of this webinar. All right. So for today, like I said, we're going to go through the questions that have been asked by people. Quite a number of people have sent in questions. More than 50 people have sent in questions. So we're going to go through the answers to those questions as much as we can. And we've tried to merge them as well. So you may find your questions being merged with some other questions. But the key thing here is the fact that we're going to go through the questions. And the way we've arranged the answers is pretty much straightforward. So we have the project management related questions first. Then we have agile questions next. Then we have change management questions next, and Lean Six Sigma. And the last set of questions will be on business analysis. So we're going to go through all of them like that, you know, and like I said, if you have any other question, you can put them in the chat area and we will look at those at the end of the day. And the format or the approach we're going to take today is going to be to talk a little bit about project management, then answer the questions, then talk a little bit about agile, then answer the questions, and so on and so forth. Now, for you to enjoy this particular session, please, we advise that you turn off all notifications. I would advise that you close all other applications on your system so that we can focus for the next 1 hour and have a good session together. And like I said, if you have any question, please send them through the chat area. Now, we've disabled you being able to unmute yourself, so the only way we can interact on this webinar session is for you to send whatever question you have through through the Zoom chat area. All right, so let's start our day. This is where we normally start our discussion when it comes to talking about project management, agile, business analysis, or Lean Six Sigma. Why? Because for you to be interested in any of these areas, it means you are working within an organization. So the first thing we expect you to be aware of is how an organization works. You see, so an organization basically works this way. Every organization would have mission, vision, values. Every organization would have the people that are responsible for those organizations that we call senior management, or the governance structure within the organization, which can be quite huge depending on the size of your organization. But the key thing is, you see that you already working within an organization, or you tend to work within an organization. That's why you attending this particular webinar session. So within an organization, we have two major sides. One, we have the BAU side, which is the day-to-day side, and the BAU means business as usual. And we have the change side, which is driven by the organizational strategy, you see, to bring about change to the way we do things, so that things will then become unusual, because doing the same thing means business as usual. But as we change them, then they become business unusual. But after a while, it becomes usual again. But just to let you know that yes, there are two sides to the equation. The equation here means the organization, the BAU, and the change side. Right. So let's focus on the BAU side. The BAU side generally is normally partitioned into silos. Those silos can be called departments, they can be called functions, they can be called unit, they can be called division, they can be called subsidiary. You see, it can be anything. You see, it depends on your organization. But the most important thing here is, as somebody or expert or professional who is interested in any of the topics that we're going to be talking about today, you got to understand how your organization is structured. Next, you need to understand the product and services that your organization offers to who as well. Who means to the customer. Who are your customers? Internal customers, external customers, but definitely you've got to understand who the customers are. Next, do you make money? How do you make money? And how much money do you make? Do you make a lot of money? Revenue. We call this revenue. So whether you're interested in project management or agile or business analysis or Lean Six Sigma, you've got to understand a little bit about the organization where you work, or if you are looking for a job, you need to research the organization you are targeting to ensure that you understand some few facts about them. Because when you get to interview, they can ask you questions about those organizations. And if you are thinking of changing your job as well, same thing. So you've got to understand the organization you intend to join. Otherwise, it shows lack of passion, it shows lack of interest. So you've got to be interested in where you work right now or where you intend to work soon. Next, the other side of the organization, like I said, is all about strategy, but that strategy can be triggered by many things. But I only want to talk about one driver, but there are many drivers, okay? So one of the drivers of strategy is profitability. Whether we want to make more profit or we want to reduce our losses, So for organizations, they actually look forward to making bigger money. And you may be thinking, oh, I may not be working in a private business that are profit-oriented. I may be working in an NGO. But to be honest with you, the equation is the same because profit is revenue. Revenue we make down there minus cost. you see, is what we call profit or loss. So every organization, whether you are an NGO or every sector, whether you are NGO or governmental organization or private businesses, you see, we are looking at making more money, more revenue, more taxes, more gifts for the NGOs, more grants, more donations. So we're looking for money. Everybody needs money. Nobody can operate without money. And at the same time, we are looking at reducing our cost, whether government or non-governmental organizations or private organizations. We are always looking for ways to reduce our cost. And to make that equation happen, or to make it work for us, meaning to make profit, then we need strategy. So one of the triggers of strategy is that equation, which is one of the main focuses of the senior management guys who are governing the business. You see, so to implement strategy within the organization, then we need to cascade the strategy into projects. And many organizations that are quite matured when it comes to managing projects, they have a way of managing related projects as programs. So programs are related projects managed as one entity. So we have project managers, and then we have program manager who will be coordinating those related projects. And in many organizations as well that are quite matured when it comes to managing strategy and translating strategy to initiatives, they practice what we call portfolio management. So portfolio management can be in a very simple term, but that's not always true because in big organizations, we may have many of them, but in a very simple term, it just means all the projects and programs within an organization to help them achieve their strategy. So we call that portfolio. So portfolio is pretty much like a bag, that you carry around that contains everything we need to do in order to achieve or drive the achievement of our organizational strategy. But if you look at this side of the game, you discover that the basic element within that side of the game is project. So because programs are made up of project, portfolio are made up of project, and we cannot make change happen without project. So the basic unit on that side are projects. So when a project finishes, then we deliver the deliverables or the product or the new service to BAU, and then things will change. So the real change happens in here, happens in BAU. So we kind of manufacture or create the change, if you permit me to use those words. We manufacture those changes on this side of the fence, and in reality, the change will happen in the live operations. You see, so this is how a typical organization works. Now, the focus of our discussion today is going to be on projects and making change happen within the organization and analyzing what we need to do to change the business and to check whether we actually realize those changes, which is what we call business analysis. And when we are engaged in any project, you see, we can get involved in complex projects whereby we cannot get everything done at once, or complex problem where we do not even understand the full solution, but we need to get going and we can start to consider agile, at least doing a little bit and learning from whatever we have done. You see, so every discussion we're going to hold today is centered around this diagram, and that's why I'm taking time to go through the diagram right now. All right, so in a nutshell, we have two sides to the organization. Number one, we have the change side, and number two, we have the day-to-day side to the organization. So depending, but if you are looking at many of those courses that we're talking about today, or many of those practices that we're talking about today, project management, agile management, the business analysis, you're going to be more on this side of the fence than that side. Though that does not mean that you're not going to be working with them. You're going to be working with the BAU side, but you're going to be on this side of the fence more than the other side. All right, let's move on. So within every organization, we always gonna need change, because you may be wondering why this entire discussion about project, agile, business analysis, Lean Six Sigma, what's it all about? Or change, what's it all about? You see, the entire thing is nothing will remain constant, nothing. Everything will change at some point. And change means addition or subtraction, that is removal or modification. So nothing will really remain the same. So at some point, things will grow, or things will die, or things will change somehow. Likewise, organizations, likewise you know the way you used to be. I'm not looking the way I used to look. I'm getting older now, you see. So we all change, and we all grow as well in the process of changing. We grow in the process, but the key thing here is as we grow, things will change. I think somebody does not have audio. Co-host, please, can you type? Can you hear me? Just to make sure that the problem is not from my side. Okay, co-host, can you please type that you can hear me? I think somebody cannot, so that I can quickly respond to the person to say that it may be the audio of the person. Co-host, are you there? Hello? Okay, other people, please, can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. So let me respond to this person to let the person know. Okay, please. All right, great. Because that was sent to me directly. All right. So the key thing here is as we grow as humans, or as organizations, or as countries, or as society, definitely there will always be need for changes. Now, when we want to make change happen, there are quite a number of practices. I call them practices. These are not professions. These are practices. Project management is a practice. Agile management is a practice. Business analysis is a practice. Change management is a practice, first of all, before a career. So let's look at them as practices, and then we can then talk about some of those roles that you can play within that particular practice. Now, without taking too much of your time, what exactly is project management? Like I just said, we can never change any organization, we can never change any society without projects. So projects are pretty much like vehicles. They are vehicles that we use in driving any organization from where they are today to where we want them to be in the future, or where we see them. And that's why we can never implement strategies within an organization without projects. So projects are quite essential. But the question is, how do we manage projects? Number one, when we manage in project, probably I should define what project is first of all. A project is a temporary endeavor that we undertake in order to produce new product or new services or new processes, whatever it is. But these are temporary endeavors. What is the meaning of temporary? Temporary just means a start and an end. That's just the meaning. Nothing more than that. That's the meaning of temporary. Temporary does not mean a particular date. It does not mean only 3 months or 2 days or 2 years. It depends. But every project is a temporary endeavor. Temporary means start and end. Next, within that start and end, we need some people then. Within the start and end, we need some people to come together to do some few things. One of those guys or one of those roles is a project manager. Who is a project manager? A project manager is somebody who gets involved in initiating or starting a project. Two is somebody who gets involved in planning a project. Depending on the terminologies that you use in your organization, it just means start it, plan it, and implement your plan. That's implementation, and close it, because it's temporary. So a project is basically a temporary endeavor that we go through to do something. And to go from point A to point B, we're going to need some people to get involved in initiating, planning, implementing the plan, and closing it. That's it. Now, during initiating, we start with statement of work. That should be something that we want to do. We cannot just start a project without any aim, without any focus. So we start with an aim, which we call statement of work or project mandate or term of reference, whichever one you call it in your organization. So there are many terminologies out there flying left and right. Next, when we have the statement of work, then we need somebody to go deeper by answering the question who, what, why, how do we get that thing done? And the answers to those, we go into one document we call project charter. And the project charter will be submitted to some decision makers, that we call project sponsor or champion. So if they are okay with the document called project charter, then they give us approval to go on or to move forward. You see, so we continue based on the approval. And if they say no, we stop there. And that will be the end of that discussion. Or maybe, because we may come back to that later. Then if they say yes, we get into planning. And planning is where we start to understand the scope of work. So what exactly do we need to do? And that scope of work will be dependent on the answer to what. What exactly are we doing? Then we're going to understand the requirement to meet that what. Design it, develop it, build it, test it, deploy it, whatever it is. And we need to answer the question, not just scope. We need to answer the question time. Like, how long will it take? How long will that take? How long will that take? How long will that take? So we need to answer the question time as well, not just scope. And we need to answer the question, if it's going to take that amount of time, then how much will it cost us? So we need to answer quite a number of questions, but at least let me just stop on those 3 questions. What exactly are we doing? How long will it take? How much will it cost? So whoever plays the role of a project manager must be able to answer those questions. For instance, if you're working with me as a project manager and I'm your boss, I'm going to be asking you, what exactly are you doing? How long and how much? And if you cannot answer those questions, then I know you do not really know what you're doing. You see, so if we are clear about those and we submit the plan to the project sponsor again, and the project sponsor finds it interesting, then we move on. That's to implementation. And during implementation, we expect a project manager to then monitor. So what do we call monitor? You see, monitor involves those 3 things there. Because who are you monitoring? Generally, I'm just talking generally right now. Let me use IT, okay? But you can be involved in many other projects. So in IT, who is going to be gathering requirement? BA. Or in construction, that may be the quantity surveyor, all right, in construction. Now, in design, who is going to be designing? Probably UI, UX. Or in construction, that may be an architect. And even in IT, that can be solution architect, enterprise architect, network architect, whatever architect. Okay, then who is going to develop? Develop is going to be those coders, front end, back end. In construction, that can be bricklayers, carpenters, whatever engineers. Okay, but let's just call them developers. And who is going to be building? Those engineers as well. But in IT, let me just say DevOps, engineer. And then who is going to be testing? Lot of testers, lot of inspectors. But let's just call these guys for now testers, whoever. And who is going to be deploying? Probably DevOps again, DevOps engineer in IT. But in construction, that can be different people. But to be honest with you, we need to get the people who have the skills to get the job done. We call these guys the specialists or the technical guys or the team members. So as a project manager, your name is not there. There's no PM there. Because as a PM, you are not the technical guy who gets the job done. So what is happening here is basically you are monitoring those guys by asking them how far. Actually, today, where should you have been as of today? And where are you right now? And is there variance between where you should have been, where you are? So as you can see, there are negative variances here, negative. And the next thing you do is control. Control means looking for the root causes of those deviations, if they are negative, and making sure that we correct them. We bring them back on track. So during implementation, there will be execution going on. The execution is done by those technical guys. And as a project manager, or the project managers, will focus on monitoring those guys and controlling any deviation from our initial plan. And this will continue until we have the entire thing done. And when we're done, we hand over the product to the customer. And this is what we call project management. Easy. No big deal at all. Easy job to do. All right. Now, and there are quite a number of questions around what project management entails. And I can see, as you can see there, you should be able to understand what project management is all about. So like I said, project management is a temporary endeavor that we engage in to bring something to life. And that is it. Now, next. When we are managing projects, you need to understand some key terms as well. You see, as you can see, I stacked that like a step, step by step. But it doesn't actually work like that in real life in many cases, but some cases work like this as well. You see, so let's just start with this simple stacking or simple structure of delivery, because this is all about delivery or implementation. So this easy linear stacking, right, is what we call waterfall. Waterfall, meaning predictive. Why do we call that predictive? It means we know everything about requirement. And in fact, we finish everything about that before we start that. It means we can predict a lot. It means we know a lot. So this kind of structure works when we know a lot. But when we don't know a lot, that means from day one, we may not even know about the entire requirement. It means this will not work. But let's just stay in this simple world where everything is known. We know exactly what we want. The customers know exactly what they want. The organizations know exactly what they want. Yes, waterfall will work like this. Everything just looks like everything looks like a waterfall. But that's a simple scenario. Okay, but that, please take note of that, waterfall or predictive. I will come back to that later when we get to Agile. Next, some people then ask, who is a project manager? Or what do I need to do or be to become a project manager? You see, that question is quite deep. There are many sides to a project manager. Number one, you need to be competent. Okay, you need to be competent, and I have spent some time to organize with my team, to organize the different categories of competencies that a project manager needs. Number one, you need to be able to influence people. You're going to be working with people, right? So you're going to be working with people, and not just working with people, you need to be able to influence them. Otherwise, you cannot be a good project manager. You need to be able to communicate. So there are quite a number of skills on that communication competency. You need to be able to work within teams. You need to have emotional skills, emotional intelligence. You need to be able to put things in context. Why? You're going to find yourself in many contexts. You need some management skill. You need to be professional. There's some ethical stuff that you need to understand. And cognitively, you need to have some analytical, creative, and conceptualizing skills. Then you need to know project management itself, which is where we have a lot of certifications like PMP, Prince 2. We have quite a number of certifications out there. But most of the time, they focus on the project management knowledge areas, not really deep into the other areas, though they mention them, but they're not that deep on them. And then there are some personal attributes that you need. There's a way to behave as a project manager. So not everybody can be a project manager, you see. So when it comes to being a project manager, you will need competencies. You will need experience, because you cannot manage project without some level of experience. You cannot just start your career today and you say, I want to be a project manager. That would be a miss. It's not going to work, because you need to have some experience, because those skills that you need could have been gained over quite a number of years. And then there are some traits, some attributes, your personal traits. There's a way to behave. There's a personality part of the job. Some personalities are not suitable for project management role. They're going to struggle. I'm not going to lie to you. And again, you need to check yourself, your driver. Why do you want to get into project management? Because if you are getting into project management because of job, because of money, like I don't have a job and I feel project management is a particular area where I can earn good money, you may not really go far there because you are doing it for the money's sake, not because you love it, not because your personality is suitable for that particular space. So answering that question is quite deep. And again, we're not going to have that much time to go deep into each of these areas. But the key thing I can tell you is who a project manager can be depends on quite a number of factors. Next is some people ask questions about the certifications. Like, if I want to become a project manager, what certification do I need? There are many certifications out there, but there are two prominent ones. One, the PMP, or the CAPM. CAPM, that's the lesser one for people that do not have enough experience, because they expect that you must have worked for minimum 3 years around project management for you to take the PMP exam. So not everybody can take it. So some level of experience is actually needed. And a lot of people take Prince 2 as well. And quite a number of people around the world are taking Prince 2. In fact, there are more Prince 2s in the world than PMPs. You see, but the key thing here is any of them will get you started. Prince 2 does not have the 3-year requirement for PMP. So anybody can take Prince 2. And Prince 2 has 2 levels, foundation and practitioner. So you can start with the foundation. So the foundation is pretty much like the CAPM here. That's like the foundation. And then we have the practitioner, which is for people who should normally have some level of experience, though experience is not a requirement for Prince 2. So anybody can start with Prince 2, but for you to be able to take PMP, you must have at least 3-year working experience. You see, so we can talk more about those, but those are the 2 prominent certifications around the world. So to quickly go through some of the questions that people have asked, I've answered them already, some of them already, but just to make sure that you know that your question, the question you sent in earlier, that your questions were answered. So quickly, I will read. Say, what are the 3 top skills that you need for project management career? I've shown you those list of, or categories, 12 categories of skills that you need as a project manager. So, but top is going to be those influencing and emotional intelligence. To be honest with you, it's not really the project management stuff. It's not how to make a Gantt chart or how to ask for time. It's really working with people. Those are the top skills. So as a project manager, you're a people person, first of all. Every other thing is secondary, to be honest with you. Next, what does it entail to be a project manager? I've just told you as well. You need competencies, you need experience, your personality must be suitable. You must be driven by some deeper meanings. Not just the money. And what career opportunity does project management offer? Loads, because you do not really need to answer that title, project manager, in quotes, for you to find project management useful. Project management is useful in every career, because project management basically is all about you taking any piece of work, planning that work, getting it done, and closing it. So project management itself has huge opportunity. So the more project management skill you have, the more you can get things done. And every organization in the world is looking for somebody who can help them get things done. So project management is not only for project managers, it's for everybody. And number 4, what role can I take on that clearly puts me on the path to success? The PMP. To be honest with you, if you are already working right now, that's the best role you can have, to be honest with you. So in what you do right now, start to practice project management. Start to clarify what you have been asked to do, plan it, execute it, and close it. Then you have a lot of experience to talk about when you attend interview for real project manager's job, if you want to then take those on. But the best path for you right now is where you are. All right, there's no better place, I tell you, because a lot of people feel there's a better place out there, that they're still looking for one big deal. Please start today. You can start to practice project management right now. Somebody said, I understand adequate studying will. No, adequate studying will not do the trick. You need experience, okay? So nothing trumps experience. You can read the entire book in life. You can dump the entire book on me. You see, I can give you a small piece of project, you mess it up. You see, books don't really handle those projects. So experience is the best. And the best place to start, like I said, is where you are right now. Yes, and that's it. But I need some information about such a role. Like I said, I've answered that. That's where you are right now. And if you are not in any job right now and you are looking for those roles, volunteer, please. If you're a Christian, volunteer in your church. Right? I did that as a project, as a young project manager. I volunteered in my churches, to manage and coordinate things. I led things. I led teams in my churches. So, and those were valid experiences for project managers. If you're a Muslim, volunteer in your mosque. You see, or if you are into helping other people, volunteer in any NGO out there to work for free. And you will get some level of experience that you can then leverage on to get bigger things done, because you need those experience to really practice. Books or reading alone will not do the trick, or attending a training will not always do the trick. I'm not involved in projects in my current role. Please, can I be guided to switch? Yes, everything I've just said now, we apply to that. Number 5, somebody said, how lucrative is project management? To be honest with you, if you can get things done, if you can get things done today, even us in Arabica, we are looking for people that can get things done, not people who are ready to intern for now. Okay, we have enough of those now. But if I can get somebody who can get things done, I'm willing to pay, that I can handle things, I can put things in your hand, and you're going to get them done without bothering me. I will be so happy to work with you. You see, so go get that experience. Go start trying right now. So is it very lucrative? Yes. Because ultimately, let me tell you, ultimately, a CEO in a business is a project manager. I tell you, it's just managing projects at a very higher level. So lucrative, yes. People that can coordinate other people, lead other people, influence other people to get things done. Is that lucrative anywhere in the world? Yes. You see, they can call them any name. You can call them product manager. You can call them director. You can call them transformation director. You can call them CEO. It doesn't matter. The main skill they're using there is everything a project manager needs. So very lucrative. Challenges of project management within the local and global context is not different from any other career. It's all about influencing people, working within people of different opinions, different personalities, different interests, and you're going to have to bring all of these things together to achieve a particular goal without complaining. Because I've seen a lot of project managers who just go around town complaining everywhere. Oh, I called them for a meeting. They will not even attend the meeting. Oh, they will not even contribute. What have you done to influence them? What have you done to prepare them? You see, so as a project manager, the challenges, they've always been the same. So it's not really changing. It's the people, right? You're going to need to get things done through people. Now, somebody said, what are the growth drivers? Innovation. Everything is changing by the seconds. So much innovation going out. Going around out there. So we're always going to need project managers. We're always going to need people to coordinate those. So huge opportunities out there if you can master the trade. Next, transition into project management with no experience. Yes, I've said that. Go volunteer. I've volunteered several times in my life. Go volunteer. Do not put money first. Because a lot of people will say, oh, I see a lot of things going on LinkedIn. Oh, should we pay intern? Should we pay somebody who is volunteering? Come on. You are gaining. You are learning. Something that you can leverage on tomorrow. So please, do not put money first. If they pay you, fantastic. If they do not pay you, please take the experience with both hands. Okay, and get it done. Go out there and learn skills that you can leverage on in your career. Somebody said, how do I get into project management? It's a very long one. I have experience working as facility manager and a quality assurance engineer in construction. The job posting I see are usually for PMs in tech industry with 3 to 5 year experience. And I have 0 experience in tech, but I know PM is a skill that is transferable regardless of the industry. You're right. Are there any opportunity for people just starting PM, maybe a junior PM role or an assistant position? Also, what are the steps one can take to fully transition into project management? And what are the skills that one needs to possess as well? Are there any sites where one can search for entry-level PM jobs? Now, let me start from the first side of the question. The first side of the question is what I've said already. Where I mean, the best place to get that project management experience right now is what you do as a facility manager. Everything you do can be projectized, everything. Initiate it, plan it, execute it, and close it. Then you have stories. Now, let's then come to the IT side. For instance, Harry Baker training will start a particular service later this year or first in next year, where you're going to be involved in, I mean, you can learn and get involved in IT projects. And so that's another service that we're going to be offering. So yes, there are quite a number of places where you can at least get exposed to IT projects as a service. But the key thing is the best place to get your experience right now is this. And again, when you come to the IT space, don't feel that you're going to learn anything new as to project management, though you will be learning some terminologies in IT space, but the project management itself as a skill or set of competencies can be transferred, as you said, quite transferable. So you wouldn't start from scratch. You could have brought in quite a bit of skills. And are there some opportunities? To be honest with you, I would not say there's a particular site where you have only entry-level jobs. You see, sometimes they post such, sometimes they don't post such. But to be honest with you, you can be more proactive. You can go out there and poach companies. You see, recently, I placed an advert for a role, and the role had even closed. And a guy sent me a direct message on LinkedIn and said, can we talk? This is my portfolio. This is what I've done. To be honest, I love this portfolio. I just disregarded all the other guys. I focused on this guy and I hired him. You see, so if you wait until there is a particular position before you start to apply for what you want, to be honest, that time may never come. So why can't you start right now? You see, the highest that can happen is no. The highest that can happen is for you to be ghosted. You know, they will not just respond to you any longer. Okay, so please wear that jacket where that cannot be penetrated by any of those disappointments or frustrations. So go out there, go ask. Before you stop, ask 1,000. Okay, give yourself a target of 1,000. I'm gonna poach 1,000 companies and ask for this opportunity and see what's gonna happen in the process. And when you are poaching them, be ready with your story. This is what I've done. I'm trying to make a transition into this, and I'm looking for this opportunity. Be specific. I tell you, before you reach 1,000, you could have had a lot of opportunities, and you're gonna even be very surprised that you're gonna have that problem of choice because you're gonna have a lot. So don't wait until a job is available out there. There are many companies that are looking for people, but they are not posting job adverts. So go out there and make it happen. Now, some people ask some few questions. I would like to know if payment for exam can be made on my behalf from abroad. Yes, it's as simple as that. How long after payment is made is advisable to take the exam? 1 year. If you are talking about PMP, only 1 year. Even Prince 2, as soon as we make the payment for your exam, is 1 year. It expires. Then you have to repay again. How many times can PMP be written in a month? You can write PMP 3 times a year, right? I think it's 2 weeks after or thereabout, but altogether 3 times a year only. So if you fail 3 times within 1 year, 1 calendar year, then you have to wait till next year. What is the best way to prepare for PMP exam to be able to pass first attempt? To be honest, 1, if you have the experience, you attend a good training like Harry Baker training. I'm going to recommend Harry Baker training to you. I take that class. I take most of the classes, not just me, but I take a lot of those classes. Yes, and you do everything we ask you to do. Yes, a lot of our candidates this year who have done everything we asked them to do on our LMS after the class, they've always passed. We've never recorded 1 failure. So I'm too sure of that. That is, if you get the job done. There's no easy way. You must do the work. What is the shortest window for PMP preparation for your training? It depends. You see, we all learn differently. Different people learn differently at different paces. So absolutely, it depends on you, you know. So some people take their time, some people don't. So I'm going to be wrong to sit here and tell you that, oh, it's going to take 1 week or it's going to take 1 month. That would be wrong, you see. So it depends on you, and it depends on your learning preferences. So if not, why? Because it depends on your learning preferences. It's about PMP exam, how to get it done 1 sitting. Yes, like I said, 1 sitting. If you attend our classes and you do everything we ask you to do, I'm too sure everybody that done that this year, they've always passed. How best to pass and prepare for the exam? For Prince 2 exam, same thing. Attend our classes, do everything we ask you to do and follow the entire class, and read everything we ask you to do it, you're going to pass. Everybody who had done that had always passed. Okay. But people that are trying to take shortcut, they sometimes find it difficult, and sometimes they fail, if they try to take shortcut. How to join the local PMI? To join the local PMI, go on PMI website. You see, you cannot join through us. Go on PMI website. When you are paying for the global membership, then you pick Nigeria. You pick Lagos, Nigeria chapter. It's about, I think, about $10 or $20 more, and then you can join. What is PDU? PDU is Professional Development Unit. That is, after you pass your PMP, you need to keep learning. So every 1 hour learning or course or experience that you have can count as a professional development unit, because they expect you to accumulate 60 PDUs over 3 years. That is 20 hours per year, over 3 years, for you to be able to maintain your status as a PMP. So the fact that you pass PMP today does not mean that you're going to be a PMP forever. It only lasts for 3 years. So every 3 years, you have to renew. You do not need to retake the exam. All you need to do is to maintain a record of what you are doing around project management over the last 3 years, and minimum should be 60 PDUs, which means 60 hours. And there are many ways of getting PDU. So go on PMI website, you're going to find all the requirements there. So when will I be able to take PMP certification with you in case I do my training? Like I said, it depends. So after you do your training, some people may take, I've seen people, the last class we had, some people took the exam a week after and they passed. But again, that had not been working for everybody. So some people take more time, some people take less. So it depends. I cannot give you a particular time because we are all different and we learn differently. Next, some questions about certification. Which is the most relevant in Nigeria setting, PMP or Prince 2? Both are relevant in Nigeria setting. And many applications, many job adverts about project management, check them out. They ask for PMP or Prince 2. So either of them is fine. But if you are really, really serious about project management and you care about project management as a career, I would definitely advise you to take both. Okay. Project management is no doubt embedded within M&E, monitoring and evaluation system. Is there any professional body specifically for M&E? Yes. You may want to take PMD Pro. So you may want to check APMG website. So there is PMD Pro talks a lot about monitoring and evaluation within project management, within the development sector. Yes. Had training on Prince 2, both foundation and practitioner, expired 2020. How could I recertify? Yes, all you just need to do is contact us. We're going to guide you. So simple. Okay, call Arabica. We're going to help you. PMP versus Prince 2, which one should I do first? To be honest, if you do not have the experience for the PMP, okay, if you do not have the 3-year experience for the PMP, then you can start with Prince 2. But if you have the experience, you can start with any of them. So any of them will do. All right, next. Some people ask some questions around location. What was the cost of PMP certification? To be honest, the cost is on PMI website, and check that out. You're going to find it there. And the cost of our training is 150,000 Naira if you're in Nigeria. So 150K, our training certification cost is on PMI website. We do not set that. Do you have a session plan for PMP certification prep on PMBOK 7th edition? No, because the current exam is on 6th edition. So why should we start to train for 7th edition? So no. So 6th edition is what we train for now. But everything we train in 6th edition is in alignment with 7th edition. So there's nothing new in the 7th edition that we do not talk about. So do you have a training center in Abuja? No. Our trainings are virtual. So you can attend our training from any part of the world. So physical location in Abuja for now, no. Okay, but you can still join us virtually. All right. So those were the questions, and those were the longest questions we have from people. So let's quickly talk about Agile. Agile Project Management. A lot of people, quite a few people ask questions about Agile. But again, I'm not going to bore you again. I'm just going to quickly populate what we've talked about in project management. You see, so when we talk about project management, Agile or no Agile, okay, Agile or no Agile, it's still project management. We need to start it and we need to end it somewhere. Okay, So one of the major differences between a typical or traditional project management framework and Agile has to do with requirement. And it has to do with something we call VUCA. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. See, so it has to do with this. If the requirement is clear from day one, and it's not going to change, you see, we can use waterfall, no big deal. No big deal, because if the requirement is clear, we don't need to worry. But there are many situations we find ourselves where we don't even know what is required. You see, things can change just like that, volatility, just like that. Things are very uncertain. I don't even know what can happen next. And complexity has to do with many factors. Like, you have to deal with many factors at the same time. And when it comes to the level of knowledge that you have known, you don't know. You see, if the level of VUCA is high, it means we cannot know the entire requirement. And we may not be able to wait until we know everything before we start. So in that case, we're going to start small, and then things will grow as we go. So in Agile, what we're trying to do is to start with what we know. Start little. And when we do that little, let's show it to the customers. And let's get feedback from the customers. Let's get feedback from the market. And that will help us to know more. But we only know more by doing. So Agile is taking it little by little, incrementally. Let's deliver incrementally. Let's not try to deliver everything all at once. Why? Because we don't even know. If we know everything, we don't need Agile, mostly. I mean, we can still use some of the principles, but we don't really need Agile. See? So based on the feedback, then we can know more and do more, and then show it to the customer, get feedback, and do more, show it to the customer, get feedback, and we keep going raised to power n forever. So it's still project management. The only thing is we're going to be ending little by little, little by little, little by little. So we're going to have lots of iteration, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So Agile is delivering the project product incrementally, because we don't know a lot. That's the reason. We don't know a lot. So we want to focus on what we know for now and prioritize and test. Now, so some people may then say, oh, I know Agile, which is true. So Agile then says, let's engage with the users. Let's engage with the users, with the customers, with the market forever. Let's talk to the customer, because these customers or users, their requirements, these are called requirements. Their requirements are dynamic, right? They will keep changing. So if the requirements will keep changing, it means we can never have one plan. Plan will keep changing as well. So in Agile, we then say, since we cannot control the full requirement because of the high VUCA, don't forget, high VUCA, because if the VUCA is not high, then we know. So we then create a product backlog. So we tell them, keep adding it, anything you want, add. So what we then do is we then prioritize. We prioritize those things and only work on priority. And because we know they can change quite quickly, we then focus on what we can get done in 1 to 4 weeks. Because if things can change quite quickly, quite rapidly, then don't do too much, because you may be wasting your time as well. We then call those sprint or time boxes. So if we work with the customer to prioritize what we had value for now, then we get them done. And at the end of that 4 weeks or 1 week or 2 weeks, we have something done that can be tested, that customer can learn from, or that we can all learn from. And we call this basic Agile, basic. And if you are more interested in Agile, attend our Agile classes, right? So Agile is different from it's different from the waterfall. So in waterfall, we just go once and launch. But in Agile, we're going to be launching little by little, incrementally. And we're going to be learning as we go. We're going to be learning and adapting to the lessons that we are finding and delivering incrementally forever. So whether you are a project manager managing in a waterfall environment or Agile environment, it doesn't change much. Though there are some skill set that you will need in Agile environment to be able to deal with those VUCA, those ambiguity or volatility or certainty or complexities. But broadly, same, almost same step. Now, so somebody may then say, what is Agile? Because that was part of the question. I love this definition from PMI, okay? This one is from PMI. I just love the definition. So Agile is, first of all, a mindset. Now, let me give you an example. The mindset is pretty much, you see, this is waterfall mindset, waterfall. And this is Agile mindset. Now, what is waterfall mindset? Waterfall mindset is a product mindset. I want to just create a product, or I want to create a solution. That is the waterfall mindset. So it then plans everything because it knows the entire solution. So it takes it step by step, but you're never going to get anything useful until the end. You're never going to get anything useful until the end. And this works in many industries. It's fine. Automotive industry, construction industry, it works. It's fine. But when it comes to some other industries like IT mostly, right? But Agile works in every industry, even including construction, because we can build a house in an Agile way by having a 3D model first. But don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about the end product now. But when it comes to Agile mindset is a problem-solving mindset. Problem solving, not solution. So Agile mindset starts with a problem like mobility, not I want to build a car. Mobility problem. I'm solving mobility. So to solve mobility, I can solve mobility with skater, with scooter, with bicycle, with motorbike, and then with a car. You see, at all times, I'm launching something to the market that can add value to my customers. So Agile is a value-driven mindset for the customer, not product-driven. Solving problem. Next. So Agile is a mindset, and that mindset is defined by values. What are those values? 4 values. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to know more about those values, attend our Agile courses. I will not be able to teach you those here. And those are in the Agile manifesto, put together by these 17 folks. Next. So Agile is a mindset defined by values and guided by principles. Same Agile manifesto website, you're going to find 12 principles of Agile. If you want to know more, attend our courses on Agile. And manifested, these mindset, values, and principles are manifested through many practices. Many. What are these practices? Many of them. These are the practices: Kanban, lead time, task board, backlog grooming, a relative estimation, personas, all manner of things. 3 C's, invest model, time box, facilitation, daily stand-up, all manner, refactoring, TDD, test-driven development, all manner of practices that we then apply based on the need of the project and based on the environment where we find ourselves. So every organization must agree which of these will be applicable in their own environment or is applicable to a particular project. So, and that's why we say that Agile is a mindset defined by values and guided by principle manifested through many practices, and Agile practitioners select, you then select any of these practices to meet your need. So all of this will not always be applicable to every project, never. You see, so we have to tailor them. All right, next. Then what is Agile? I'm very sure you see a man of names flying everywhere, left, right, and center. But there are 2 categories of Agile framework. So there are quite a number of frameworks out there that can help us to practice those things that I talked about. One part, we call them lightweight, and the other one, heavyweight. Lightweight and heavyweight. The most used lightweight is Scrum, and one of those most used heavyweight are those two. We teach Scrum, we teach DSDM. That's Agile PM. This is Agile PM. Okay, so what is the difference between them? The lightweight, they focus mostly at the middle of a project. So they are not full project management concepts or frameworks. They focus on the middle, just this middle. But the extensive, that's the heavyweight, they focus end to end, even beyond project and before project, end to end. So they are end-to-end project management framework, Agile project management frameworks like DSDM and SAFe. But Scrum is not. Scrum is just focused on teams, on development teams. So key thing is two major categories of framework, but there are many of them out there flying everywhere. And like I said, if you want, you can attend our courses and you're going to learn more about that. Okay, so we have some questions about Agile because of time. Say, want more insight as per Agile? It's all about, that's what I've just said. More detail on Agile, it's all about, I've just said that as well. What certification exam do I need to write? You can write Scrum, you can write Agile PM, or you can write SAFe, and so many other ones. Many, there are many. But I would advise you to write Scrum or Agile PM, depending. If you're a full project manager, go for Agile PM, that's the DSDM. If you are only coordinating a Scrum team or a small team, then go for Scrum. You're going to benefit a lot. What are the benefits of Agile PM for an entrepreneur? You see, anybody, entrepreneur or not, every entrepreneur, you see, we all have many things to do. I'm an entrepreneur myself. You see, we all have many things to do, and it's always very good to put all of those things in one place, into a backlog, and then select what you're going to focus on at any point in time. At any point in time, you cannot do too much, I tell you. So it's better we focus. So as an entrepreneur, absolutely, Agile will help you, to prioritize, to know what to focus on, and to get things ticked off as we go. And then somebody said, how can one apply Agile methodology in property management and construction? Absolutely as well. And even before the project itself is applicable, and even as a property manager or in construction, get everything you need to do into a backlog and prioritize. What should you focus on this week? That's a sprint. So the principle is applicable everywhere, I tell you. So in any industry, we can use Agile. Is Agile PM certification recognized globally? Yes, because even one of those people that really created Agile Manifesto, Agile Manifesto is Harry Van Benekim. That's the guy that did most of the work in DSDM. That's the Agile PM. And so Agile PM, that's the DSDM, started way before the manifesto. So those were the earlier, the earlier Agile frameworks in the world, not the newcomers. And somebody said, in this world of Agile and product management, how should some of the tasks that a project manager is supposed to handle, and how should it be handled? For example, stakeholder communication, risk monitoring and management, vendor management. Is Agile in the Agile world? What role would best suit a project manager? Being that there is no role called project manager, being that Scrum Master performance most objective. What's the best way to set up objective? How should you see? There are lots of questions, but I will answer your question simply. Now, in the world of whether Agile or project, the question is there are a lot of overlap. So it depends on your organization's framework. Every organization is a must. Every organization must establish their own way of managing project, and how many roles we need. Because the title we call project manager in one organization may be doing the work of a scrum master, of a product owner, of a project manager, of a team manager. You see, so you may be doing all of them. So it depends on your organization. There's no one clear-cut description to say, oh, in your organization, you're going to play that role or you're not going to play that role. It depends on your organization structure. So I would like to take that discussion. If you want more information, you can engage with me, and then I can understand your own environment. So there's no one clear cut. I cannot not just say, oh, you cannot do that. Otherwise, you get back to your organization and you say, that those guys from Arabica said, no, it depends. It has to be tailored. All right. And then the question is, what role can the project manager play? It depends. In some organizations, the project manager then takes up the product manager's role or the product owner's role. But again, it depends. There is no one way of achieving this. And I know it's past 12 right now. I know a lot of you, we said it's 1 hour, but again, we have many questions. So we try to answer those questions. If you can stay with us, fantastic. If not, bye-bye. You're going to have those videos at the end of the day. Yes, so many questions here. How escalation should be handled? That depends on your organization's methodology and framework for managing projects and products as well. So there's no one way. So in different organizations, they all work differently. So there's no one way. It has to be tailored to your own environment. And we like us to have more discussions on that. Next, I need Scrum Master free course book. It's online, just download, right? That's from the Jeff and Ken Schweber. And what's the benefit of taking certified? We don't even do the CSM, okay? But the benefit of taking it is just you have a certificate that proves that you understand Scrum, but that you know Scrum, not that you have experience, that you understand Scrum. And whether it's recognized in Canada or US, yes, it's recognized all over the world. And yes, like I said, Agile concept, certifications, they are applicable to any industry because it's all about understanding the entire work that should be done at a particular time and recognizing that you cannot finish everything all at once, and we need to prioritize and focus on one thing at a time. That's the entire point. And that can work in any industry. Next, some people asked some questions about change management. And so some people said, what exactly is change management? All right. So in a nutshell, change management is all about the people side of project. People side means the entire organization. I'm not talking about the team. I'm not talking about the project team. I'm talking about the entire organization, because every project will make change happen. So those changes will happen to people. You see, those changes will happen to people. For instance, you are going to be bringing in Microsoft Windows 11. You see, that will affect me. That will affect people. So how do we then get people along? How do we get people along? So in many organizations today, we then have the roles of change managers. You see, by default, many organizations expect project managers to play them without formally telling them. They just believe that you should play the role of a change manager. But it's another big role. It's another big job. And they run in parallel with project management activities. So from when project management starts, change management activities start as well. So the change manager focuses on where is the organization today, meaning where are the people today? And how do we then help transition the people to the future state whereby whatever product or service that is being produced by the project team will be accepted by them, adopted by them, used by them without issues? Because that's the only way we can realize value. If people do not adopt the product or the solution, then we cannot realize value from the product. So project managers will focus on initiating, planning, like I said, but a change manager will focus on preparing for the change, preparing people, telling people, communicating, analyzing people to really understand what they need to know, what they need to do about the new product, and managing those changes and reinforcing those changes. Because the fact that somebody believes in the change today does not mean that it will continue to believe in the change. You see, so we need to reinforce that and remind people, otherwise people will forget. You see, so if a change manager will use many tools to make this happen, while a project manager will use many tools. So there are two different practices, but they are complementary. So as a project manager, since many organizations do not employ formal change managers, I normally advise project managers to take a change management course, and vice versa as well. So change management is just focusing on the people side of change. Why? Because many people within the organization will resist. Only few people will believe in the change at first. The change that we are trying to make happen. Some people are okay, maybe, I'm not sure. Some people are, I don't know yet. Some people are, I don't want, very stubborn. Some are even saying over my dead body, I refuse. They want to stop the change. So it is the job of the change manager to get all of these guys on board, everybody. Because if we do not get people on board, it means we lack commitment from people and loss of resistance from people. And that means the change may never get to the destination. So a change manager helps to ensure that we take people from where they are today to the future. We're driving towards the future. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So a change manager looks at the current state, look at how to transition people to the future. So, and it's very, very difficult. If everybody will move all at once, that could have been great. But people will not move all at once. So since people will not move all at once, we then need somebody to coordinate all of those and really understand. And when people believe in the change, they wouldn't just announce and say, now I believe. Even the people that do not believe, they wouldn't say, now I don't believe. You see, so it's so difficult, folks, very difficult. So change manager's job is all about people, looking at everybody within the business, sales department, IT department, HR department, L&D, procurement, finance, every department within the organization, and make sure that they believe in the change. So quite a number of questions that have been asked by people. What is the available change certification that you provide? We provide the CMI, Change Management Institute certification. So call us about that. We will be able, we will be happy to provide you more information. And I'm very sure we have one course coming up before the end of the year. How can PMO leaders leverage change management in implementing PMO? Fantastic, lot. So all the change management practices that I've talked, some elements that I've talked about will really help. And to really take this further is a big kettle of fish. Please get across to us at Rebecca. I'll be happy to have a session with you and discuss your question. So implementing PMO and seeing how we can leverage on that. I'll be happy to even give you for free 30 minutes of my time and talk to you about that. All right. So please get across and book a time and we'll talk. And how can you simplify change management? Yeah, that's it. It's all about the people side of the project. What is change or project? I've just talked about that. Yes, what is the career path? Now, for people in change management, they grow to be the head of PMO or transformation director, because in most change managers as well, we have project management skill, so almost same career path, just that you are more into the people side of the things of the project than the technical side as a change manager. But again, you are still helping to implement those technical sides. So you are there. Is a project manager required to be a change manager? You see, it may not be expressly stated, but for you to be successful in real life as a project manager, yes. But formally, maybe no. But in real life, yes. What is change management? I think I've discussed that. That's change management is the ability of us to be able to help people. Meaning every employee from where we are today to where we need to be in the future, so that we'll not just waste our money creating solutions, creating whatever that people will never use or that people do not really believe in. All right. Some people ask some questions about Lean Six Sigma. I'm not going to waste your time on that. Very few questions. Number one, you see, when it comes to Lean Six Sigma, it's all about looking at the entire enterprise, the entire company, because we use processes everywhere. Process in procurement, process in sales, in marketing, in finance, IT, everywhere. We use processes in portfolio, in programs, in project. We use processes in strategy. So we use processes everywhere. Processes are everywhere. No organization can run without processes. Now, since no organization can run without processes, that then brings to mind BPM. There's something called BPM, which is a practice. BPM is business process management. So how do we then manage all of these processes scattered everywhere? how do we ensure that the processes will do what we want them to do? Because the BPM lifecycle includes designing those processes, modeling them, executing them, making sure that people follow them, and monitoring them, gathering data about them to see whether they work or not. And if they do not work, then let's optimize them. So we call this business process management. And this is applicable to everything, whether strategy or not. Now, so the Lean Six Sigma course then focuses on checking your processes and gathering data to check whether we need to improve them or not. So it's process improvement across the entire organization, everywhere. Okay, so some people have some question. How do I become certified green belt? Attend our courses on Lean Six Sigma. You're going to learn a lot. I can promise you that. It's not just about certification. It's about you learning and then doing. So yes, that's one of the ways. Do not just take me. I know there are many exams online that people take for the certificate's sake. They don't understand Lean Six Sigma. Attend a good course like our Rebecca trainings course, and you're going to learn a lot. When is the 2022 calendar coming out? Before the end of this month, it should be out, I guess. Yes, it should be out before the end of October. All right, thank you very much. And lastly is business analysis. So some people asked about business analysis. Just before I go into this, we had a webinar sometimes ago, I think earlier this year or late last year, about business analysis specifically. So please go listen to that video on our YouTube channel, because that's more detailed. Because here I'm just recapping, just high level. But if you want to really know more about business analysis, so please listen to that video. Now, since this is the last practice, I will trigger our last poll. So please, we appreciate if you can take some time to answer our questions about. Please to answer the question on the screen. All right. So next is the business analysis. Who is a business analyst? Okay, a business analyst is someone who can help throughout, across. A business analyst helps before the project. A business analyst helps during the project. A business analyst helps after the project. So you're everywhere. They can help analyze. That's the entire point. Analyze the entire business analysis. Now, so business analysis is the practice. It's another practice of enabling change. We are talking about change here within an enterprise by doing what? One, by defining needs. So you can help to define what is needed to achieve any goal. And when you define those needs, you can help to recommend solutions that will meet those needs. And when those solutions are then implemented by project, then you can check whether they've delivered value or not. And I took that definition from Babok, version 3. So business analysis is all about helping to understand needs, defining the solutions that will meet those needs, and checking whether stakeholders have realized value from those changes within any organization's context or organizational context. And that's it. Like I said, if you want more about business analysis as a topic, please listen to that particular webinar. And I put in that webinar as well. So what business analysts do is to really help to understand the current state as well. As you can see, a business analyst will be working with the project manager, will be working with the change manager, will be working with the PMO, will be working with many people, with the strategy guys, and then defining where we are going and gathering all the requirements to bridge between where we are and where we are headed. And when those requirements are implemented, then let's go evaluate whether they worked or not. Are they adding value or not? So business analysts generally in the world, they get engaged in all of these. And so business in that particular webinar that I'm talking about from Ari Baker as well, I talked about the competencies needed by business analysts. So please go listen to that video. But specifically, 3 questions asked. So somebody said, effective business planning and contingency. So I couldn't figure that out. Are you saying what is effective business planning or contingency or both? But business planning, yes, business analysts can really help with business planning. But again, If you can redefine that question, that would be better. He said, do I need to take a separate qualification in data analytics if I'm taking the business analysis course? If so, what is the best course provider? Now, you see, data analytics is kind of a branch within business analysis. But that said, the certification for business analysis focuses on some some of the tasks that a typical business analyst will perform. And when it comes to data analytics, does not go deep into how data analytics works, because that is another practice entirely, big practice. So what I will advise you to do is, if you really want to specialize in data analytics, go on Coursera, okay? Coursera, take the Google course, Google Data Analytics Professional Certificate. That, at least that will get you started, So take that, because data analytics itself is another big practice. Though business analysis touches on it a little bit, but not deep. How much is business analysis now? I think our cost, the training is 150,000 naira, and the exam cost, you can find that on IIBA website. So is it possible to get my employer to pay? Yes. So we can get, just contact us. We're going to give a letter. We're going to write a letter on your behalf, send it to your employer, and then we'll pick the process up from there. And somebody's saying, is my ECBA seamless? Is my ECBA seamless as IT exam? Yes, if you attend our courses and our classes and you do everything we ask you to do, absolutely yes. Okay. And then some general questions. Says, how can I get my job? How can I change my job right now with the whole situation going on in the country right now? You see, I really feel what you are feeling. Okay. And yes, the country may not be great or may not look the way we want it to be right now. But to be honest with you, yes, you can change your job right now. Pretty much like what I said earlier. Give yourself a target of 1,000 companies to contact. Until you reach 1,000, please don't give up, please. You can get that job. People are still getting good jobs every day. Employers are looking for great people every day in Nigeria. So please, yes, the situation may look dire, may look horrible, but please, let's look beyond that. Let's be optimistic. And I'm not saying that there are no issues, but yes, you can get your own within that environment. You see, so let's be proactive, go out there, believe that you can do it, and you can do it. Okay. And I'm really believing with you as well. And want to know how is the training and exam will cost, and is there going to be discount? Now this question did not really specify, so it depends. All our fees are on our website. So if you go to arabicatraining.com, you're going to find all our costs there for each of those courses, because I wouldn't know which of those exam costs to really talk about. Or we are there to chat with you as well. So if you cannot find what you're looking for, please chat with us on the website, or call us, or even ask us to call you back. We're going to call you back and answer your questions. Okay, now let's tie it up together. To tie it up together, all right, one of those things is bringing project management, agile management, business analysis, change management, Lean Six Sigma. And all of this talking about different things? No way. We are still talking about the same thing, same organization. You see? So the best way to tie them together is for PMOs. And that was why I said I'm ready to talk about that. The person that asked the question about PMO is for PMOs to create playbooks that we talk about how we manage changes within the organization, which we then include sponsors, we include analysts, we include change manager, we include PMO, we include program managers, we include development team. So we need one playbook that will specify how we do things. This is how we do it. So we need to be able to say this is how we would do it. Otherwise, people may consider them as different things, but they're all the same thing. We are all working towards the same goal, though we are responsible for different aspects of the change. So it's all about making change happen. So the entire topic today is all about change, making change happen within an environment. So, and if you are looking for ways to get this implemented in your organization, creating a playbook that will pull all of this together, please contact me All right, we have our sister company called Louder, and Louder can really help you make sense of all of these. It will work like a clock. All right, so please, if you're interested in that, please let us know. All right, so somebody's saying, why am I not answering the question? Sorry, I will say that I'm going to answer the questions asked in the chat after the questions on the slide, because people sent in those questions earlier, and I promised to answer them first when I started, then I'll come to the questions in the chat. So yes, sorry about that. Okay, so, okay. And when it comes to, some people are asking for courses, so we have some courses coming up soon. Like Prince 2, PMP, Scrum, ITIL, Change Management, Lean Six Sigma, Agile PM. So if you're interested in any of these courses, please get in touch with us, and we will be happy to answer your questions. Now, let me go to the questions in the chat. So thank you. Some people had sent some questions in the chat. So let me look at them. Not so many anyway. Hi, can you also elaborate the role of BA? Okay, I think that was before I started talking about BA. So yes, I'm very sure we've talked about that. I mean, we've answered that question now. So somebody said, do I need to register as a member of PMI before writing PMP? No, you do not need to register as a PMI member, but if you register as a PMI member, you get a discount. So whatever amount you could have paid in being a member, you gain more than that, because you get a discount as a member for your PMP exam. So it's better to just be a member, because you then get other benefit. So be a member, though it's not mandatory, but you have better things to gain, and you even save money. Okay, can you help with the link to your website to learn how to earn some PDU? All right, yes. The link to our website is www.harrybakertraining.com. Yes, so yes, that is our URL. Yes, and we will be able to help you from there. And then somebody said as well, I'm interested in Agile PM. Then please, can you complete that poll? So we're going to get across to you. Just please select Agile PM, and yes, we will be happy to engage with you further on that. And I think, yes, I think I've answered all the questions now, except you have any other question. So thank you very much today for joining us. I hope I've been able to answer part of your questions. And if there are questions that I did not answer very well and you want more explanation, please do get across to us. I will be happy to engage with you and provide you answers to those questions, because this is Ask Me Anything session, anything. And though the time is quite short, but I hope you've been able to pick one or two things today. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day, and bye-bye. Okay.